And, you know, really, it's nice for people to see other levels of practices that are going on. So please don't be shy. You know, all you're doing is sharing, you know, your energy and your sense of practice, which people have a lot of difficulty. And hopefully enjoying it. Yeah. Yeah. But you're encouraging people at all these other levels to try it. You know, I've often said in the beginning of class, you know, you can't do this right. You can't. But then again, you can't do it wrong. You know? So whatever you do is going to benefit your body. Whatever you do, just standing and moving and shifting your weight from side to side works to increase your circulation. So let's start with the most basic thing. It keeps your heart healthier. And what have you done? Oh, I raised my arms, and I didn't look like Dale did, but you know, so I could do it this way and still go, wow, this is good for me. Yeah, but I have this particular way of doing it because it's a way of harnessing and mobilizing the energy. Well, that's a very good way to practice if you can begin to harness that energy. But at the very beginner level, you're increasing circulation through the whole body, especially the brain. It's the only thing that's going to get us going, keep us going, is if we continue practicing. So please don't be shy of the screen or the camera, because you are encouraging others to. And thank you all for coming. Tingling, hi. Nice to meet you. And we're all here because it's a great thing to do on a Tuesday morning. I'm trying to get Emilio to set this up so that you can go on the website and be able to practice using the website. So you can go back and see this class will be available and the earlier classes will be available. And so that may encourage you to do more practice at home. And so I mentioned it here, and I mentioned it for people who are looking at that. We're trying to get this set up so you can go back and look at previous classes. All right. Well, the last couple of times I've really gone off. Yeah, last week, I believe it was, we started off with a little bit of Bagua circle walking. And then we did some standing postures that come out of a Shaolin tradition. And we did some Qigong practices as another way of warming up. For people who are in here, most of you have learned the warm-up from the practice with John. And so the first couple of classes, we did the entire warm-up. So if this practice is available so that you just go online and click that class, you can start with toes, ankles, knees, and go through that whole warm-up. Yep. And I'll get, Emilio and Kelly are the people who are being so helpful in setting all this up. There must be, yeah. But anyway, in those first classes, there are those warm-ups. like I said, what we ended up doing last time was kind of going back to, and let's go with, rocking on the heels and toes, very simple, and swinging the arms. So don't get the feet too wide because this is a little bit too bulky in your own body. This is very light feeling, it's very agile. And look at your toes for a moment in the mirror and see, are your toes straight forward? This is something you would like to be working with. It's pretty much getting the toes more in this alignment. Many people have this outward turn, which is sort of natural, but we're trying to work with balancing muscles, balancing energy through the inside and outside. So if you do this on the outside of the leg, feel the difference. There's something totally different in this movement, and it kind of catches up in your hips. But when you're straight forward, this all moves very smoothly. There's a thought from the old Chinese classics in Tai Chi that the body is like 9 pearls on a string, and those 9 pearls should all move smoothly, easily. If we're doing this, we're kind of doing this with the pearls. They're not all smooth in its movements. So this makes it real easy. And again, look at all the things that we're doing in the body. You can sort of sit back a little bit on your heels once in a while, and you're playing with your balance. And you can work onto your toes, play with your balance, and don't be afraid to lose your balance. It's a very good practice just to do that. Get used to losing your balance. And in so doing, you're walking down the street and you trip and you go, "Ooh, that was, how did I, fall over that?" So it's comforting to know that you can actually practice losing your balance. And then we talk about the breath here. You can do 3 swings, 1, 2, 3, with the inhalation, and 4 swings with the exhalation. So we're really working to get that carbon dioxide out of the body, create more of a space for fresh oxygen to get into, to support the brain, the heart, the joints, the whole kebab. Then we come down slowly. And you might even feel at this point a little tingling in the fingers. So you've really done something with something so simple as that movement. Another of the Qigong practices is called waving hands like clouds. So you bring your right hand over and up, and the left hand over and up. Now, for people who have been doing Tai Chi for a while, I strongly suggest you keep your heels down. Don't float with this practice. In the beginning, you might feel as a beginner, oh, that feels so good. Yes, yes. But as you get into this practice, like I was saying earlier, we're looking to harness this energy in the body. We're trying to keep that energy within, not let it float away. And so you can go a little wider into the legs, the knee bends a little deeper. And then you start to use the turn of the waist more as you reach over. And the eye kind of picks up this hand and picks up the fingers again, picks up the hand, fingers. And now you're really working to turn the waist. This area of the body is referred to as the lower dantian, the middle dantian, the upper dantian, these 3 fields of energy, these three fields of elixirs for the body. And so you can really feel, oh yeah, I'm really turning through that space now. This is a space that's just below the navel. And then to increase the energy of this simple practice, I mean, everybody, you got it on the first class, you're doing great. You can also then take this hand as it comes across the bottom and make it into a fist. And so we're talking now about yin, soft, and yang, hard. We're starting to exchange left and right, yin and yang. Yin is also blood, circulation. Yang is energy. Yang moves the blood. And so we feel that we're really doing something from within this practice. And if you notice this arm as it comes through, it twists and turns. Oh, there's some muscle in here that is not getting squeezed into a muscle, but just simply turns into a muscle as you move. It turns into, you can feel the strength without using strength. Right? Reach across and feel the bicep, the tricep of your arm. When you start to twist through the waist, through the arm, you start to feel that muscles are being turned and twisted and activated. So that hand turns from, let's say, palm down to palm up with the fist. And there's the natural movement creating the muscle to be activated. So we got so many things happening. The quad gets used. The knees are very safe in this position, basically. And Tai Chi truly is based on these healthful aspects of playing with yin and yang. And then we go back out and in and down. Pause here for a moment. Now, where your fingers are, let your fingers just drop a little bit. There's the palm being stretched. Let the fingers relax just a little more around the palm. So you don't feel this stretch anymore, but you do feel that the hand is being opened. And this in the palm of the hand is a point that's referred to as Laogong, the palace of labor. So we're working, and when we do this, obviously we're working to strengthen the forearm, the wrist, the fingers, the hand. Even this movement of just standing here, the story is one of the members of the Yang family, and I teach the Yang style, was able to take a heavy couch and with the suction on the palm of his hand, move the couch. So you can start to see that you develop a lot of strength into your hand. Last week, we talked a little bit about this then as we continue from this notion of the opening of the Tai Chi form. Let the fingers relax for a moment and just raise a foot on one side as you shift your weight, raise the toes, come back down, shift your weight, raise the toes. So as we started, we talked about if you did nothing more than just shift your weight left and right, you would be doing a lot of good in helping circulation in your body. To emphasize that even more, you raise toes on one foot, press the other ones down. Yin and yang happening again through the foot. These are the little things that are usually not talked about in Tai Chi. You start Tai Chi and a teacher will often say, all right, so here it is, begin. And you begin. But these little things of how to squeeze and close and how to lift and press. These are the little secrets that actually make your practice so much more vital. And so you are getting the benefit of this training, let's just say at a 5 or 6 year level. You could be an absolute beginner today, and by doing these kind of things, you are actually getting the kind of benefits that most people would get without suggestions on how to train at a 5 and 6 year level. I was training in Beijing one time, and there was an older man on the other side of this bush. And I was practicing, and I finished my form, and he had finished his form. And it was just very nice. And he came around, and he spoke a little English, and he said, "You've been training for 9 years." And I looked at him, and I said, "Well, thank you. I must be doing okay because I've only been training for 6." So I was way ahead of myself, obviously. But I had teachers along the way who could teach the energy part of this. And when these little ideas come out, it advances your practice at another level. And it's almost automatic that as this starts to happen, there's another level of practice that's in here that starts to happen because you're very involved in your body. And so instead of the hands just going, "Oh, this is nice. I haven't called Shirley in weeks now, have I? God, I wonder what she's been doing. She was going to go to Hawaii, I thought. I don't remember." And it's mindless practice. But as soon as you start to bring a hand in and go, "Hi, what are you doing in here? Oh, I see." And now you're part of your practice again. So as we continued with this from last week, now if we just take a toe and raise that left toe, automatically you sink into the right leg. You slide that foot over a little bit. And now as I weight down, I'm pressing down on a point on the foot called Yongquan, bubbling spring. And I'm percolating that kidney energy up the body to the top of the clavicle. And as I go to the left side, then I raise the right. As I press down here again, I bring that energy up the other side. So now I've got this kidney energy in movement as soon as I start my form. And the kidney qi is so important in Chinese medicine as it controls a lot of hormonal stuff, reproductive stuff, but it's the brain, it's the ears, it's the hair. There's so many aspects to this, as well as strengthening your low back, etc. Governs your knees, governs the bones in the body. This is all kidney qi. So as we get that kidney qi to begin to move and flow, whoa. And so when we use the hands with this now, as we talked about Lao Gong, the softer hand but expanded finger, we're going like, suck that energy up, pull that energy up. Here's the top of the collarbones, and then to the internal connection, the brain, the ears, and the hair. So then we started talking about this last class in Grant Park, that as you're coming up, you can break this into 3 or 4 parts. 1, inhale. 2, inhale. Depending on 3, inhale, and 4, exhale. And after a while, you don't count these at all. It's just inhale, inhale, inhale. And the whole body's gone big inside. And then it comes inside and it goes down and down and down. And there we are. We're all connected. Can you feel the little tingling in the palms? Yeah, you can feel the energy already in your hands. This means the energy is moving nicely throughout your whole body. So this first movement is just so simple. Raise the toe, slide over, press down, pump up, and then the hands come into this pump up, inside, 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 and now palms stretch, palms release, weight back towards your heel. The toes are soft, they're very relaxed. We're not gripping the ground with the toes. Great dog back there. So then we go to turn one foot, spin the heel as the hands come across. Step up into the diagonal, heel toe, and then from the weight on your back leg, push, 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 and spin to that front leg. Nice. This hand is almost horizontal across the front of the body. Now that there's energy inside this, inside this body, I can actually get pretty comfortable here for a while. And this is the most important part of doing Tai Chi, is to have this internal sense of energy, not with strength, right? It was just standing there and he's leaning against me. Why is he leaning against me? This is called peng in Chinese, warding off, expanding, extending the energy. And all of your movements in doing Tai Chi will have this same sense of peng. When we go to the other side, the two hands go out, the two hands pull back, go back to peng, and this then is called double peng. So I've got this arm and I've got this arm to reinforce it. Nice. So peng becomes within the body. And if you just take those simple ideas you've learned in this first 20 minutes, you have a practice that could include nothing more than 3 or 4 or 5 of the Tai Chi movements and do them over and over a few times, and you've got a wonderful practice. So here we are, let's do these first 3 or 4 movements together. First one is just forget everything. Why did I waste so much time talking? Toe. Guiding that energy from the foot up to the face, out to the finger. From the face all the way back. And palms, coccyx, and chi. And as the hands guide that kidney chi up again, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're staying connected through all of that movement to arrive here, step up and touch for a moment, and then back to that diagonal as we spin that back here. Here's that sense of peng going out and this pull coming back. So let that arm drop down. Don't keep it up too high. There's a sense of blocking your own energy. Easy for you to open the hand up again. Feel the stretch that's in the hand. Get the hand up here and stretch it. What's it feel like? It's caught, it's stuck somewhere. Down here, hands now work very nicely together. So sit back on that back foot, and we go low and high, back around, and pause for just a moment. Find a nice, comfortable place. Step to this diagonal, heel and toe, And as I'm standing on this leg, now I push from that leg and I spin and palm down. Yeah, yin and yang once again. So we have this sense of energy happening. And notice just to do this, look at all the movement that can be created in the body. So you're not just using the arms and the strength, but if you were actually using this movement, here's a wrist, here's an elbow, I push and this arm goes up. And so I can take that arm up and come back and let the person fall down comfortably here, come back around. Here's pung, here's double pung, and here's the waist as it turns into that support. Go from the elbow, slide off. Here's a very interesting thing. The thought of all that energy in your hands. Bring it to your face, bring it to eyes, ears, nose. You can almost smell this warmth that's right here in this moment. So you really know that you are doing some stuff for your health that's just amazing. And then we go to push. Fingertips, heel of the hand. And notice when the heel of the hands move, the elbows drop a little bit, the waist drops a little bit, and there's more of a feeling in the legs and the feet. And that's what we want, is this feeling from the ground to the fingers. Nice. And then we'll take that left hand back and look in the back corner. Come through into the front corner. This is called single whip. You got the handle of the whip here, and as we come back to the corner, the tip of the whip as it cracks through the air. So here's the handle of the whip, just like whoosh. You have this handle and these fingers flying out, which could be simple strike with those fingernails somewhere across the cheeks, the nose, and then we'll bring it back into the front, the middle. As we raise the hands up, oh, there's my foot. Thank you for coming up. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the foot. Ah, this is a nice thing. You get this notion that, wow, my whole body is so nicely connected. It's very easy to find my balance point in here. And over time, you become quite adept at knowing where your balance is. Anybody who's over 40 will appreciate the fact that they can improve their balance. So you can just pick the foot up and put it back down. And here we are in what's called upper hand, or raise hands up and upper hand. Notice the hip is back, the shoulder is forward, and the hand from the back is extending towards the elbow. So this is pung going out, and this is pung extending towards the elbow. Bring that back in. From the beginning. Toe, heel, kidney chi being driven upward, hold up. Nice breath in, nice breath out. Flex the fingers a little more. And as we come up this time, 1, 2, and 3, all connected together, called embracing the yang. So here's this energy on one side, and again, if we're talking yang, then what? There's yin back here. So we have to always find yin and yang together. As we step up to the diagonal and turn. That front toe, they're straight forward, right? They're slightly turned inward. If you turn that toe inward, you get a lot more muscle in this leg to engage, just naturally. It's like a skater. They turn their skate in, they get all these muscles in the leg to help stop. So we're in this nice position. Sit back. If I had an arm here, I can go, here, go lay down over there. So I'm rid of that thing. And I get to step back up into this nice ball of energy, yang and yin, in a much more condensed space. As I step out again, and we end up palm up and palm down. This is under the elbow. This is on the wrist. And take that arm and turn it over and come back. And press. Notice press and sink. The two most important words that you'll hear in Tai Chi that are repeated again and again is relax, and the other is sink. Sink becomes relax. Elbow. Now we're taking all that nice healing energy that we've got moving and move it through the whole body as we come to push. Now, if you were actually pushing something, you better hope he's not this tall. That's a big thing to be pushing. If you hope that it's only about this tall, and you're pushing actually at these areas of the ribs, the chest. And there's kind of an interesting thing, get out of that stance for a moment. And let me bring you into this. If you're standing here strongly, I could push you from the side. You're not going to move, right? No.
Unless you want me to.
No, I don't want you to move. I really don't. I want you to go, yeah, see, I'm strong. But when you're pushing, the feeling is that you push and you push with the fingertips a little bit before the hand pushes. So I push with the fingertips a little bit first. Get strong again. I lifted her whole mind out of her body. And that's what I say about Tai Chi. It is the softness that is of Tai Chi's nature that, in a sense, disarms a person. They're like, well, you can't do anything to hurt me. And you do single whip, and they're going, oh, no, wait, oh. And you're walking out the door, and you're down the hall, and you're gone. It's the soft nature of Tai Chi that disarms a person's fear, that disarms their aggression. You're like, what are you, bam. And you do this when you're talking, you're going, oh, no, please, let's not get involved. I don't want, and you're gone.
Sweet, I didn't know self-defense class too.
Boom, all in one. And it has been said that there's only a few movements that you really need in this to be able to defend yourself. Hopefully you never, ever have to. That'd be great. But already you have a little more sense of confidence in the fact that, well, you know, if I do this for a couple of months, this may actually turn out to be worthwhile. So let's go from the beginning once more. We'll go through the rest of section 1 just to let you explore the movements. Opening of Tai Chi form. Sink, raise. Sink, raise. Kidney chi being pulled up. 1, 2, 3, and guide it back down. The ears, the brain, the sense organs above. And as the hands float up again, 1, 2, and 3. One smooth movement. And now the breath is completely in. The step, breath goes out. As the breath is out, nice connection. Sit back with that breath in and step through with breath out. In and out. Generally, for your own practice, anything moving back towards your body is breath in. Anything moving away from your body is breath out. Soften those elbows, relax those shoulders, fingertips slightly pushing. As we go to the corner and look back, front corner and close, and turn, and single whip. Left hand comes in and under, and I've adjusted that foot. That was tricky. I adjusted the right foot, and now it's very easy to raise up and settle back down. Keep that hip back, shoulder back, arm extended. Step in to the shoulder, to the elbow, whoops, to the hand. All of those are all connected. Step back to the elbow. Ooh, and that hand could go out again too, don't forget. But the right hand comes over as we step in. And we have one of the most beautiful movements in the Tai Chi form called White Crane cools its wings. Closes. And we're going to do brush knee. Brush knee to the hand, to the knee, go around the knee and push the right hand through. Bring the left hand up along the leg and bring the two hands together in front again. Hip back, shoulder back. And we go with one continuation to brush knee and strike again. Now pivot the hand and the foot. Push through with that back foot. And we come to brush knee. Weight is back here for the moment. Reaching out here, and I push through. And I can turn, slide, push through, brush knee and strike. Step up, and again, this is play the peepah. Nice. Let's take it back. We're running out of room, it seems, so let's move on back. Any questions on that? I really encourage questions because everybody learns so much. Yeah.
You've given us all the answers for asking.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. If you get those, then you start pondering and you're going, did I do that? Feeling of, yeah, I think I'm getting that. If you do that, I'm a happy person. On White Crane, let me go back one more before that. Single whip. I'm going diagonal from here. And I want to go to that diagonal. So when I finish, I want my nose, my slightly turned in foot, and my body to have that particular direction. Now, John, who was teaching the class before, was doing what they called the Wu style single whip. It's an interesting one, but one of the big problems with people when they start Tai Chi is what is called double weighting, where the weight is equal on both feet and in a sense equal in the hands. And double weighting is one of the biggest problems that will come along in the beginning. So John chose this Wu style after studying for 10, 15, 20 years. He understood how to use them. Most people, until they get to 5, 10, 15 years, I would suggest when you go from here to here, this is the same stance that is very similar in sword work, in fencing. Notice how this hand is back up over the head. This is Western style fencing. You've got balance, you've got strength, you've got power, you've got speed. You've got all these built into the stance. He did that. Well, he many times when he would come to class, this was John going, see, this is how I've taken to my practice. And I will say, oh, fine. If you can show me why and how you use it, great. I had another guy come to class after 25 years. No? Oh, okay. Well, then you're missing your turn. And I thought you were following John's sort of notion of, of this woo style. Okay. And here's part of the importance. We talk about this in the warm-up, these 8 directions. When we're moving in these 8 directions, we clearly want to know these are the diagonals, these are the fronts and the backs, so that you can choose to step not in front of a person. This is not a good position for me to be compared to stand at the side of them. Now, this is the diagonal. And on this diagonal, she's got 2 things. I got 3. So I'm at an advantage. And this was one of the things about this particular yang style that I learned was from a teacher who was a beautiful calligrapher artist, but who understood the applications of many of the Tai Chi movements. And this form that he taught, instead of, you'll see this on many yang styles, they go opening of Tai Chi form, turn, and grasping sparrow's tail left. I'm right on line with her here. And what I would rather do with this form is to go from here and come around to this place. Now I'm in a safer position. I'm not exposing this whole part of my body. And so I can use the side of my body and I can protect my body in that way. As I say, many yang styles will come right up, straight up into this position and then go grasping sparrow's tail off on this direction. But this gives you an opportunity to play with all these diagonals. So when we come to single whip, you're not ending up in this position on the person. And especially if you have your arms in this position, whoa, wait a minute, this is not comfortable. But as soon as I get to this side, I've got so much more that I can do. And one of the notions of this is if you bring a hand up for me, single whip actually becomes this. Yeah, it's not just this. It's a way of entering inside of all this and going. It was said at one time that teachers of Tai Chi kept back. And at one time it was thought that people who are studying might be studying for the wrong purposes, not for the highest notion of virtue and integrity. Maybe they turned bad and they became robbers and thieves. And so the teacher was supposed to be the one who kept these students under control. And this movement of single whip, everybody would teach, oh yes, here we are, and bang. Nobody really would show step through. And the first time I learned this, my teacher called me up and I got to be the one who went, "Bam." I landed on my feet and I went, okay, where's the pain? Where did he hit? Oh, he didn't. Turned to my friend in class and I said, so what did he do? I had no idea. I mean, he just came in and went boom, and I was back over there. So these are really important ideas in terms of knowing where you step and how you align yourself now. And these also then start to change your sense of direction. And this was a really weird one for me. I used to have a horrible sense of direction. If it was that way, more times than not, I thought it was this way. Yeah. And then becoming aware of these 8 directions in the form made me much more conscious of in walking in a city that I didn't know, to pay attention more. And I could come back, and after a while, I was no better than 50-50 in guessing. And then suddenly, damn, I got it. I live over there, and back to my motel. So think of these directions when you come up into one space or into another space, because it does set a compass in here a little differently also. Body, mind, and spirit. This is amazing practice, folks. So all of section 1. Here we go, opening. One, two, 3, and 4. Opening, diagonal, and closing for single width. In and under, back to this main direction. In step, back, main line, back in, main line, as white crane pulls its way. And truly, that first part is the most difficult part of your whole Tai Chi form. They really stress those diagonals in the beginning. And it does make it easier as we go straight down this line now, all in one direction. Brush knee and strike right, and pivot. Brush knee and strike left, pivot. Stay back on this right side. Brush knee and strike. As you start to get stronger, it stays easier to stay back on your back leg. High pat on horse. Did we do 3? Yeah. Oh, peepaw. Here we are. And step up, parry, and punch. Like open, like close. Look back. Use the corner of the eyes to look as we come back. Down. And back up into cross hand. So again, toes are fairly straightforward. We're going to balance out these muscles in the legs. Coccyx is tough. Chin is elongating up through the neck. And the hands are away from the body. Same thing here. I could lean against these 2 hands, and you would have to work with my body and my weight, and you sink down into the ground to hold me away. So this is where this strength comes in from the legs. As we step in, breath in, breath out. Relax the fingers again. There's the palm, the foot, the lower, the middle, and the upper dantian. Now that I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that I found these 5 points, I'm done. I can stop. But don't get to this last part, step in and go, well, now it's like way much of that beautiful energy that you were just playing with. Take it in, harness it, reserve it, feel it, appreciate it. And then off you go. And like I say, for beginners, if you learn all of section 1, and it may take you 2, 3, 4 months, it doesn't really matter, does it? But I'm hoping that you'll be able to go back online and look at this practice again today, and then go back and look at those first ones, because the first ones have that whole warm-up in it. And the warm-up, many people who have been practicing for years and years say, spend about a half an hour warming up. That's what gets your energy moving. That's what allows you to become centered in the energy in your body. So that when you start to do this, you're aware, you're in touch, you can feel. And the Chinese like to use the word, you can hear the energy in your body. And same thing as you finish. Put it away. Then move it. See. So if you learned all of section 1, you could do section 1 over again and again and again. The Tai Chi form that we're learning has 3 sections to it. This first section will show up again in parts in section 2. And section 2 will have some new movements also. And then we go with section 3, and section 1 and 2 will show up with some of those same movements also, so that this form starts to become a 15, 20, 25, 30-minute practice, which is the beginning of then the meditation of just disappearing and going through movement. The form itself becomes a structure for your meditation. You can miss movements in the meditation of it, and it doesn't matter. Oh, you left out the other one of those. Yeah, I'm sorry, just for continuity. But if I'm really into my practice, I'll finish, I go, it was a beautiful practice. Never missed a thing. So we did section 1. We're starting to get you comfortable in that. And we're going to go in and do the first part of section 2 and give people a chance to work on some of this. Follow along if you're comfortable. If you're not, step back and just watch. Watch the feet, especially. This one aspect of turning a toe but keeping it inward slightly, and turning the back foot and keeping now the feet parallel is really a tricky thing to do. And my last teacher had some very gifted athletes in his class, and they got this thing. And what you've realized is if you try to move 2 feet, where's my center? It's off. And if somebody goes to move 2 feet and I get pushed, I'm down. But if I'm here and I move 1 foot, I can absorb things from one side and I can give back from the other side. So there's really very good reason to work on this practice of the foot. And I often say, if you can get the foot correct in section 1, it makes the learning of this whole form so much easier. And you will be doing the form in that sense correctly. Energetically, you'll be doing it in such a way that the body will truly benefit from the practice you're doing. So, from that cross hands, at the end of section 1, again, let those hands extend away from the body. This is the first point in the underarm for the heart channel. So don't squeeze your heart off. Extend it out. Feel how you can breathe and how that heart energy and all the, in Chinese medicine, they say the heart is the emperor, empress of the body. Whoa, don't close them down. So we move a foot and we move a heel. We move the heel and slide the foot and move the heel. Press, press. What we did last week was talk about how to come through here and begin to actually practice how to punch. So many people will punch with a locked elbow, a shoulder pulling up and stuck out here. The shoulder relaxes, the elbow bends, and the hand is feeling its way out into it. So if we go from here again, this was reviewing last week. Press, press, and it's hidden away, punch. So there's a locked elbow. There's an unlocked elbow. And these are the things we just have to do 100 times so we don't get to this place. And sort of in that sense, jiggle the whole body. We lose our vision, we lose our breath, we lose a lot. So we go back again, press this side, press this side, and now this hand becomes the fist, and this hand becomes yang and yin. And here's the turn through the waist that we were talking about. As that waist turns, the spine turns, fist extends just on my center line. We go again. 1, 2, and slowly 3. Very relaxed, yeah? Comfortable. Here's my nose, here's my fist. Soft elbow, soft shoulder. 1, 2, and 3. Feel that nice turn through. And here's why you don't want, yeah, you just suggested it, thank you. Why you don't want that foot out there. Could you feel what happened? Yeah, your knee didn't like that. And you get here, and the knee goes, oh, that's great. Hips like it, spine likes it, whole body's connected nicely. So a couple more. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So here we are at the beginning of section 2. We don't get to show the punch in the form. We hide that away. So we go 1, 2, and now we're going to step into the diagonal 3. And here's that nice ball of energy. And as I prepare to step into that diagonal, I get my foot ready. Now only one foot's going to move as I step. And we take the 2 hands around. This is called carry tiger to mountain. Yeah. So you shouldn't be twisted at this last point. You should be pretty square in that part of the line. So look, where's your diagonal? The diagonal is a little further around that corner for people in the back row. It's over in the windows. Yeah, so you mean they have to step with that right foot far enough around so that you're not twisting your body. At that point, they would call this 70-30. You went from 90-10, little shift, and going around to here. This is the, yes, and it's the, yeah, that's what we're saying. The 8th diagonal says, now you're over here. Clearly you're over here. And in the world of, like I say, the compass getting reset, you really have to do this with precision. The precision then becomes part of your natural step. And in so doing, keeps you from doing stuff where you end up straight up on another person. It is. It is, from diagonal to diagonal. And what I like to call this movement, for just the sheer fun of it, is the Calvin and Hobbes throw. Here comes the tiger. I take the tiger's head and I go down with his tail, his head, and I reach under his belly, and there goes Hobbes, head over tail, head over tail, head over tail, off into the mountains. So I'm here, I get ready for Hobbes to jump. I'm stepping away from him a little bit so he jumps at me, but I'm not there. There's his head, there's his belly, there goes his tail over his head. The fun thing is, just as of Calvin and Hobbes, he will come back around in the beginning of section 3 and try to get you again. There's the repetition. And this time Hobbes is a little smarter to that movement. So there's a little bit of a distinction and a change in the form. All right, so here we are from, as we stand up here, step off that line just a little bit, adjust the foot, head, tail going over. Now, I'm using my waist at this final point, but I'm lining it up to go right into that corner. So I'm using this now to uncoil the waist. Uncoil the waist, and here we are with the first repetition of grasping sparrow's tail. And washing the face with the chi and push. Now we've got a single whip coming. We go from this corner all the way around to that corner. So I look into this corner, I come all the way around to that corner. And now, as I'm going to the opposite side again, I want to just look into that corner. I've looked at the whole world in that sense around me, and I know that here comes my next friend to play with, and here's my single whip. That's the 1/8. So we went from this place to this place. Yeah. And that's why I say this gets a little bit more of this awareness to the diagonals. Yeah, and then we go into that 460. Now we're back on that main line as we step through and what is called looking fist under elbow. So turn that palm up. You're being very generous. You're inviting the person to come play again. I'm sorry if I discouraged you somehow in that first times around. And so what we're looking at is if there's an arm here, what I'm actually doing, I'm setting up from here, right? This is me, you're just making your attack. And I'm just gonna come through here, step through, and look at my fist under my elbow. Oh, you're not comfortable. That can make it really uncomfortable. And you don't get that choice. I'm like, no, you stay right here because you're going, oh, yes, I understand. They use these are come-alongs that are talked about in police work. Yeah, so you get into this position, and the unarmed police officers in Hong Kong and Britain and Japan are very skillful with these things. They pick a guy up and they go, whoa, where do you want to go? I'm sorry, what did I do? It's a very powerful technique. Yeah. And these are practices that are a part of Tai Chi that are referred to as Chin Na, locks. They are practiced in the Japanese practices, especially with Aikido. And the beautiful part of practicing in Aikido is you get to do these every day with a partner. But you get to think about this as you're playing in your form of, I could step back with that. And now I have that wrist in this position. All right, so here we are. Let's go from press. Settle home a few of these new first movements. Press, turn, press. There's the punch. Wide open way. Now tiger jumps, head down, tail over the top. From this hip that's already cocked, you can extend back out and pull back and press and single whip. Look back behind first, and now all the way around to the 270, right on line with your nose here. With your right hand, put it right on line with your nose. This is an important area compared to this. This is an important area. You can do something with this hand. You get into practice of doing this, and yeah, you build bad habits that way. So it comes right into there. And like I said, you can see how now you could step through, step behind me, and open the whip. And I go away. Yeah, so that hand could actually take the arm and push it up over my head.
And this is also a hold, right?
It's a, yeah, it's a, exactly. It's that you can do that without grabbing it. So it's a capture.
Yes.
It's a capture. And so in that position, when you capture me with your elbow up, I can get inside. With your elbow down, I can't get inside. And if I go to get inside, don't miss the obvious, please. You're always looking for it takes a lot longer to get this one over there than it does to get to there. And that's what we talk about a little bit with when you're doing a very high level of martial arts. It's not block and strike. It's block and strike. Here's the capture, here's the strike. And there's so many places you can find that in your form, but especially with right crane. Block and strike. Oh, and there's the picture of the form. Oh, isn't that lovely? Do your form and be aware of. Let's bow out for the morning, and I'll thank you all for coming. And again, thank yourself for a good practice. You did a really great job. And the tradition is for me to say thank you. And then we just look to one another and go, let's do that again next week, huh? But I'm not going to be here next Tuesday. Last time they did this, though, they set up the video of one of the classes. Emilio would be more than happy to do that again. And I heard that they did that on Friday also last week, that they set up for a Friday class and showed one of the videos, perhaps the same video, to practice again. No, no, not me. I'm coming only on Tuesday. That's the only time I have.
Or just a video?
I think that's what's going to happen, is that there will be the video on Friday if you want it to happen. Now, I don't think it's a big deal. I think you could walk up to the desk on Friday and be the only person and go, oh, thank you, Emilio. I appreciate that. Okay. And then you practice. And I can encourage you to begin practicing on your own. See you guys. I won't be here Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to go through, I have to get on to. Ah.